finally getting around to unboxing my brand new wax pot. This is long overdue. I've had these two melters for probably a couple years, maybe even 3 years. I had another melter before that we just continuously ran, and I didn't feel safe using it until finally it did short out and popped on my breakers, and I moved on to using these. They seem to be a more affordable option, which I have really loved these melters. Problem is, I pour candles all day, every single day, and these melters are really not made to be run continuously. They're more made to melt down 40 pounds of wax and then turn it off, pour that, and then start over. And the problem is I just don't have that much time to wait. So I needed something that was a little more efficient and that could allow me to have a higher output. I invested in a brand new melter, and it actually was delivered like 3 weeks ago, and I've just been so busy and I haven't gotten around to unboxing it. So I'm doing it with you guys today. First things first, we need to get rid of this thing. She has seen her better day. Look at this. She's sad. Boy, she's been old faithful. For the time being, I am going to leave this melter where it's at. This heating element is just about burned out, but I can get a new heating element, and I love running 2 wax pots at one time, especially when I'm doing wholesale orders or in the busy season. I have to oscillate melting wax down and have them going all day. Here she is, my brand new melter from 2 Auto. I am so excited about this. They have such a sleek, fun look that I think is gonna look really good in this office. You guys know I'm all into aesthetics in my studio, so I really think this is going to vibe. Please disregard all of the stickers on top of the box. My son is at the age, he loves stickers, and he was helping me package orders the other day, and he thought these were my fragile stickers, and he's putting fragile stickers on the box that he thought was getting shipped. That boy, little does he know that he is going to be pouring candles, boxing candles before he knows it. I love the way they package this. It's super safe and secure. I am so excited. If you're a candle maker, you know how exciting it is to get a new melter. Okay, that's not working. You know what? We're gonna do this like this. I don't want to scratch this thing up right out of the starting gate. Okay, let's go out the bottom instead. That'll work. They even included a little stirring stick, and guess what? This one matches the ones that I already have. Look at that. Look at that. It's like it was meant to be. How beautiful is this thing, you guys? I am loving it. She's a beauty. I'll have to look. I think I got the largest size. I really can't even remember. There might have been a size larger than this one. But how stinking pretty is this? So excited. Let's see what it looks like up on the candle bar. I love how lightweight it is. Woo! Look how pretty she looks up here on the candle bar. You guys are wondering why my 2 blocks are different colors. This was the original block. My husband made both of these. Fun fact, he can literally make anything. This is my original block, and then when I got my second wax pot a year ago, he built me another block, and I just have not taken the time to stain it. And it's such an eyesore in here. So I need to put that at the top of the list to get it stained so everything is a little more cohesive. Hopefully this will reach. My plugs are quite a ways under here. Yes, she's gonna reach. Yay. All right, you guys, let's get this thing filled up with wax and see how quickly we can melt it down. The lid here, it says, please use up the first melted wax. If the melted wax is not used up at the day, it's recommended to place a stir stick in the bottom of the pot before the wax solidifies, then take it out before the second heat. So, little FYI, if you're getting one of these, we have a lot of candles to pour today, so I have no doubt we're going to use up all of the wax. Okay. All right, we're going to flip her on. Heating. I love these little lights that tells you it's on standby, insulation, heating. I use pure soy wax. You got to be careful that you do not burn soy wax. So I think we're just going to start with it on medium heat and just see how quickly that heats up. I don't want to overload the melter and fry it, and I also do not want to burn my wax. So once it starts to melt down, I will check back in with you guys. All right, guys, a little update. It's been probably 15 minutes or so, and as you can see, the wax is melting down. I did turn it up to, I guess that's 185 degrees. So we'll check back in another 10 minutes and maybe we will get to pouring. So we've got our wax melter melting down the wax. We've got our candle jars labeled with the warning labels on the bottom. We have them wicked, and I went ahead and laid out some wax melt clamshells that we're gonna pour as well. So while we're waiting for the wax to melt down, we are going to work on some of the personalized labels we're gonna be putting on these candles. If I get behind on melting down wax, or I just feel like I'm in between times on pouring candles or packaging items, I feel like I'm always working on labels. So the candles that we're about to pour is for a baby shower, and this is her label. It's so cute. This is one of my exclusive designs. Of course, it speaks directly to my heart because I rodeo and come from a ranch rustic background. So I really love this one. So in terms of labeling your candles, there are so many options these days that you can choose from, and you really have to figure out what works best for you and your business. I personally like to create my own designs, and I feel like it's always creating and tweaking little things. And part of my niche is being able to personalize the majority of my candle labels. So I had to have the ability to print them here in the studio. If this is something you're looking to do, the first thing that you need to do is invest in a high quality photo printer. And I know they're expensive, but that was a game changer for my labels. Literally look like they're professionally printed because they are essentially printed out of a professional photo printer. And if you're not wanting to personalize your labels, you can always have them printed from somewhere like Avery or your local print shop. If you're batching candles and you would like textured labels or anything on those lines, having them printed by a third party is a great option. Now, a question that I get literally every day is, what software do you use to design your labels? And I'm really dating myself here because I use Photoshop. And I know these days Photoshop is used for all kinds of fancy things, and using them for label creation is probably below its pay grade, but it's what I feel comfortable using. It's what I grew up learning to use. I took several graphic design classes in high school and college, and this was just the software I used, and I'm comfortable with it, so I've never changed it. Now you can use other softwares like Canva. If you're drawing, you can use Procreate. I mean, there are a lot of options, and you just need to figure out what works best for you and what you feel the most comfortable using. So I have designed this in Photoshop. I've saved it as a PDF file. Whenever somebody places an order, I can go in and change the text to say whatever they want it to say, and change any of the elements and layers that I've created pretty quickly. My processing time is 5 to 7 business days, but I try to stay on 5 business days for favor orders. And a lot of times these favor orders are 100 to 150 candles, and 5 days is a really fast processing time to pour that amount of candles, get them labeled, get them packaged, and get them in the mail. It's been really important for me over the years to be able to access all of my label files quickly and get them edited efficiently. That way I can work up a proof to send to the customer so they can approve it and get them to print. Now, one thing that I do want to say as a pro tip, which For some of you, for me, I struggled with it for a little bit, and I wish somebody would have told me this, and I would have saved so much money on label paper and ink. Make sure your print settings are set to print on the paper that you are using, okay? I cannot tell you how important this is. So I have this fancy Canon photo printer, right? I did all of the research when I was going to buy a new printer. I'd been using like an office jet printer for a long time, and it did a great job, but it just wasn't as good a quality as I was wanting. As my business was growing, I'm like, we have to have supreme labels. This is not something that I want to overlook. And so I got this fancy printer, and the very first time I printed labels, I was like, what is this? The colors look nothing like what's on my computer. They were super washed out, and I was like, I just paid so much money for a printer that is not working. Some research, and I did all of the things that they said, cleaned the print head, changed the ink, did all this stuff, kept running test prints, and I still kept getting these really faint washed out colors. And I was freaking out because I was in the middle of busy season, and my other printer had coughed it up, and I needed this printer to work. And I was about to turn around and take it right back to where I got it and buy a different one. In my mind, I'm thinking maybe I just don't have settings correctly altered to get these really vibrant colors. Did some experimenting, and sure enough, I just had the wrong type of paper selected. And for the print quality, I needed to select best. This is a very ground level issue that caused big turmoil for me. I just wanted to note that if you are going to print your labels at home, make sure that your print settings are correctly set so that way you're getting the very best from your print. All right, so now that we had a little chat about that, let's send these labels to the printer and see how they turn out. Here we are. Look at this. Okay, I didn't tell you guys, but it completely melted down while we were working on labels. So I come and put probably 8 or 9 or even 10 more scoops of wax in here, and that was maybe 5 or 10 minutes ago. Look how fast this thing is melting. I love it. Wednesday morning that this video is going to go live, and it has been a crazy week in the studio. I am just like, my mind is just going 100 miles an hour in about 20,000 different ways. That's okay, that's why I love what I do. My brand new wax melter is doing its job. It's melted down probably 30 pounds of wax in about 30 minutes, 45 minutes. So that's great. My ebook, oh my gosh, every single time I sit down to work on my ebook, I literally work on it for 5 minutes and something pulls me away from it. And I'm not gonna lie, it's been really frustrating this week because I was so excited to get this released this coming Saturday. And I'm not saying that I'm not, but I feel like with this type of thing, rushing it is not necessarily a good thing either. Of course, I don't want to make you guys wait any longer than you have to, but I also don't want it to be a sloppy, rushed mess. So I'm still going to aim for this Saturday, the 26th, as a launch date. But if that does get pushed back, I will let you guys know. If you are as excited about this ebook as I am, there's a link below to sign up to my newsletter. And I'm going to keep you up to date with the launch date, and probably going to give you guys a really special discount code. Link that in the description below. That way you can sign up, and that way if I end up having to move the launch date to next week, you guys will know. This ebook just means the world to me because it's 14 years of my trials and errors packed into a pretty concise and hopefully descriptive and helpful information for anybody that's wanting to start their own creative business. And there's just so many things in here I wish that I had known, and I just hope it helps you guys take some shortcuts that I ended up taking the road less traveled to get to where I'm at. Having so much fun on the creative side of this ebook because, like I told you guys in the last video, this is not just going to be a whole bunch of words, just like a regular book. We're going to have lots of pictures and lots of pretty things. It's appealing. This is not just a boring read for you guys. Just so excited for this. It's been 5 years coming, and I'm finally seeing it come to life right before my eyes. When I step away from it and look back, it's just something that I'm really proud of. To think like, hey, I went through all of these things and I now get to share this with everybody and help so many other people achieve their goals and dreams. So I'm just so excited. Another thing that was crazy this week is I did have my Mother's Day launch. The designs are so cute. I am beyond thrilled with how they turned out. I had been planning on designing these for months. It literally has been on the top of my to-do list since January, and it just kept getting pushed back. And last week, I'm like, holy cow, I have got to get this Mother's Day launch designed and launched all within 48 hours. I guess that was the fire that I needed because I was able to churn out 11 new designs within about 4 or 5 hours and get them photographed the next day and launched the day after that. So last week has been crazy. Fun fact, I do try to do any new releases on Saturdays so that way it doesn't interfere with you guys' weekly plans. Anytime that you're expecting a new launch for me, be looking on Saturdays. This week, which I am going to start filming footage for next week's video. The secret that I'm sharing with you guys is this next collection theme is wildflowers. This collection is going to be based on your birthdays. So it's going to be like your birthday month wildflower and so many different candle designs. They're going to be individual. Even going to do a special collection of wax melts that the scent correlates with your birthday month along with the wildflower. I've been really inspired kind of for Mother's Day and for grandma's flowers and butterflies. So I'm going to have a lot of gifting designs in this collection, the family last names as well as the family member name. So excited about this collection. I've been wanting to do something with birthday months for several years, and now is the time to do it. I've gone back and forth on colors, like your birthday colors, gemstones, zodiacs, and I really love the wildflower idea, especially because we're going into spring and summer. I'm going to do just a simple black and white line motif type design, and then I've got these really beautiful watercolor brushes, and I'm going to work in watercolor flowers and some of the other designs. So I'm hoping to have those launched within the next couple of weeks. I really want to focus on the ebook. The ebook has to get done first. Ebook first, planning on having that done this Saturday tentatively, and then new Wildflower Collection will be launched probably the following week. So that's just a little heads up on what's going on in the studio and what you guys can be expecting from me. I'm sorry this is getting really wordy, but I feel really compelled to say this before we finish up. So on Instagram and really anything on the internet always looks perfect. You see all of these small businesses having success. You see them shipping out what looks like thousands of items. You see them always having their hair done, always having their makeup done. Everything always looks perfect. And I just wanted to get on here and say, that's not true. I don't care how OCD you are. That is just not how small business works. And I had a day last week. I literally just wanted to stop and scream into the void because I was so frustrated. I just wanted to let you guys know those types of days do happen, and they happen frequently. If you're at a point in your small business or even just in your life where you are frustrated, having feelings of inadequacy, please do not feel alone, because every small business owner, I promise you, is going through the exact same thing. For example, I did a really beautiful set of baby shower favors and sent them to Canada, okay? We all know the tariff war is happening right now. That is an ongoing thing that I have been trying to keep up with the updates, understand exactly what's going on, so that way I don't get caught in a pickle and my customer doesn't get stuck with a whole bunch of taxes or something that, you know, we weren't aware of. Well, I've already shipped these candles, and Canada answered to our tariffs by putting a 25% higher tariff on certain items, of which candles did not fall into that category, I thought. So the candles make it across the border, and the customer emails me and she says, I just got an email that said that I owe $176 or $186 in taxes. Did you know about this? And I could have literally cried right there, because one, I had been keeping an eye on all of the tariffs and everything that was going on, so I was not expecting this, and two, it was frustrating that they emailed her instead of me, because normally UPS emails me, and they emailed her instead. So after probably an hour on the phone with UPS trying to work with customs, what it come down to is we had to pay the taxes, we had to pay the duties. And I told the customer, look, this was not your responsibility. You didn't know this. I didn't know this. But as a small business owner, it's my responsibility to take care of my customers. And in this situation, the duties that I paid were nearly the same price as the entire shipment of candles. And so I lost money on this order. And that is frustrating, especially in times right now where every dollar counts, every penny counts. So many businesses have had to get lean this last year due to inflation and due to people just not spending as much money. I really felt this one. I mean, monetarily and just, you know, mentally. There was probably 30 other things that went wrong during the time that I was dealing with the tax deal. And I just wanted to share that with you guys to let you know that it's not all just roses and butterflies, that having your small business does have its ups, but it also has its downs. And so if you're in one of these lower valleys, I promise you it will get better, and I promise you that you're not alone. And that's just part of having your small business. Sometimes you have to just tee it up to the game and take one for the team and then move on. So with that, I'm going to wrap it up, and I hope you guys have a wonderful Wednesday, and I will see you guys next week.